From Oil City News on K2 Radio.
Surveillance video from a North Casper liquor store reportedly shows a robbery suspect's red, white, and blue checkered boxers as he bends over to scoop cartons of cigarettes into a black trash bag. There were 3 people in the suspect vehicle when it was finally disabled after a pursuit with law enforcement. It was Manuel Serrano, who was found to be wearing the matching boxers later at the hospital. Serrano is charged with aggravated robbery, battery, grand theft, eluding, and interference. An $80,000 cash-only bond was set at his initial appearance last week. He waived his preliminary hearing in circuit court on Thursday, and he will next appear for a formal plea in district court. He is presumed innocent unless proven or pleading guilty. On Wednesday, December 11th, Senator John Barrasso spoke on the Senate floor calling for the repeal of Democrats' $7,500 electric vehicle handout. The new Senate Republican majority begins in about 3 weeks. Republicans plan to enter the next Congress with a long fix-it list, as Barrasso calls it. At the top of the list is an agenda that lowers costs and restores American energy dominance.
Prices today, we know, are 20% higher than they were 4 years ago. And just this morning, we learned once again prices have gone up in November. And we know the culprits, the problem behind the high prices. Wasteful Washington spending, and we've seen a lot of it the last 4 years. The other reason, of course, is the Democrats throttling American energy production. Republicans are going to fix the fiscal insanity of the last 4 years. We'll put Americans, not Washington bureaucrats, back in the driver's seat. We're going to start by repealing the Biden car bribe. This is something that President Trump strongly supports, and he is supporting what we are promoting.
In later remarks, Barrasso says that taxpayers shouldn't be forced to pay for the cost of luxury vehicles. He insists that it's wrong for tax dollars from working families to subsidize the car purchases of wealthy elites. The incoming Trump administration and the Republican Senate majority plan to get rid of the Biden car bribe and the Biden car ban. A heroic Montana Highway Patrol trooper named Wade Palmer and his family were officially presented with a beautiful new smart home on Thursday by Tunnel Towers. The new home in Stevensville, Montana is an ADA-compliant smart home, and it was delivered mortgage-free to Palmer, his wife, and 2 daughters. Over 100 well-wishers gathered to honor Palmer and his wife, Lindsay, including John Carroll, a retired battalion chief, former Attorney General Tim Fox, and Colonel Tom Butler, as well as a host of others at the new Stevensville home. Wade served the people of Montana for 8 years with the Highway Patrol, and during those 8 years, he served with distinction, earning the highest award Montana Highway Patrol gives, the Medal of Honor, not once, but twice. He earned his first medal for pursuing a murder suspect. His second was earned in 2019 when he located a suspect who earlier that night had shot and killed 2 citizens and seriously injured another. During this encounter, Palmer was shot multiple times. In both circumstances, despite the danger to himself, he placed himself in harm's way to protect innocent citizens. Wade says he was just doing his job. A Republican lawmaker from Bighorn and Washakie County says she plans to introduce a pair of bills in the upcoming legislative session to restrict transgender access to women's facilities and women's sports. In a recent op-ed, Republican Martha Lawley announced plans to introduce an amendment to the Student Eligibility in Sports Act, as well as Protecting a Women's Privacy in Public Spaces Act. Her op-ed says that this isn't about shutting anyone out. It's about giving every young woman the chance to compete on a level playing field. The amendment provides legal remedies to hold institutions accountable if those rights are violated. Among other things, that bill would ban Wyoming collegiate sports teams from competing against out-of-state teams with 1 or more transgender players. The Student Eligibility in Sports Act already bans boys from competing in girls' sports in grades 7 through 12. Lawley was a co-sponsor of the original bill, which was passed by the legislature in 2023. The Wyoming legislature will convene its 2-month general session on January 14th in Cheyenne. Read more at K2Radio.com. I'm Colby Feeder.
Experience holiday cheer at Tanger Outlets with savings up to 70% off your favorite brands. From fragrances to accessories and the latest styles, discover the best gifts for everyone on your list. Save big at Nike Factory Store, Michael Kors, Under Armour, Coach, Polo Ralph Lauren, Kate Spade New York, and so many more. Unwrap the best at Tanger Outlets. Hundreds of brands, endless gifting options. Plan your trip at Tanger.com.